Hey y'all, hey y'all, hey y'all. What's up, y'all? Yo, these are low key about to be my favorite sessions, y'all. I'm super excited about our Power Tuesday sessions. Y'all already know we got the beast herself, Miss Tay, about to be on here. Y'all already know. If y'all was here for the last one, then you already know. Bring your big notepad, yo. You already know. Get yourself ready. Hey, yo, I'm so glad y'all excited because I'm super excited too because, like, yo, the first one was a banger. So if you missed out, then you missed out. But, like, yo, we seriously really about to do something. I wish I could tell y'all a secret on what that is. I ain't got no secret, but we about to find out in a second, y'all. That Miss Day, what's up? Hey, yo. I keep telling people how you tricked me last time, yo. How you came on drive.
You was about to click me off. He was like,
Click
no,
you
she
right on off, yo.
thinks she might be sick.
Yo, right on off. But I'm like, yo, like, yeah, that was definitely the move. But what's up? How you feeling?
Listen, we gonna push through this session. You know why? Because everything that we do is a lesson, right? So, you know me in full transparency. So it may, I'm gonna tell y'all just some of the things I got going on only because I need to explain to you all how we keep pushing forward. All right. So I moved into a new house a few days ago, but yesterday, well,
Congratulations.
thank you so much. But yesterday, they drilled into my jaw. They drilled into my jaw. I am not an easy person to numb by any means. So 7 vials later of numbing, it still did not work. But here we are today, right? And it's really all about pushing forward. My face is swollen. My jaw is legitimately probably looking like I had a stroke. But guess what? I'm here with you all, stitches and all, right? Because that's what.
How? How?
Listen,
My ninja,
listen,
how? Yo, you
listen.
could have quit. Yo,
Nah,
oh,
nah, no, not going to. You know why? Because we push forward. That's what we do. That's what we do. I remember last week, the comment was made about like how do you keep pushing forward with negativity, with circumstances around you, with people not treating you the way you treat them, right? And it really is as simple. I don't know if I did this exercise with you all last week, but if wherever you are, I want you to lift your left hand, right? We did that last week. You lift your left hand, you lift your right hand. It's the ability of telling your mind that we're going to do this thing and you can rest after. So, guess what? This was an hour out of my day, and it was very important to me to be back with you all. I'm super excited. I promise you that I'm fine. We're going to push forward. So, I wanted to just use that as an experience to say, hey, guess what? We can still push forward. It's all right. We here together, right? So last session we were talking about values. And really all of these sessions are going to connect with each other. So I need for you all to not miss any. Don't miss any because they're just gonna roll and they're gonna connect. So we talked about values last week, right? And the things that are important to us. We're going to talk a little bit more about that today, digging deeper into that. And then we're going to talk about what we talked about last week about mind mapping, right? So I really want you all to hit this chat with the question that I asked you all last week, your homework. As you look at your mental table, when you are making a decision, you want to know whether you should do something, whether you should take a chance on yourself. There's always somebody at the table. So when you all thought about that, right? Who is at your table? I want to hear it. Who did you think of was at your table? I'm making a decision right now, and I'm not sure who's at the table. Is mom's at the table? Is your best friend at the table? Is it your grandmother who's no longer living? Is she at the table? Because really, the people who have been in our lives, whether they are no longer in our lives, still freely exist in our minds. Whether they told us that we could do it, can't do it, they're still around. So who's at your table? I want to hear it. Who is at the table? Because this next exercise is very important. Who is at your table? All right. Hit me up in the chat. Who's at your table? You're making a decision. All right. Okay. Certain family and your boyfriend. All right. Who's at your table? You're making a decision. That's an important decision. You're right there at the crossroads. You're just not sure. Um, right. We gonna get to that camera once we cutting off. Right. We gonna get there. Yes.
Already
Hey,
know.
we cut them off. Now, I need you all to be like honest with yourselves. This is the place where I want you to be honest with yourself because that's the only place where growth exists. You cannot have growth and be fake with yourself. There's no such thing. There's no way to grow. You have to put seeds into honest ground. There's no other way. There's no other way. You cannot grow something in fake dirt. You just can't. You can't do it. So we've been honest with ourselves. Who's in it? Your brother, your grandmother, your future self. Fantastic. Right? So who did you decide that you're cutting off? Because that was the homework. Who are we cutting off? And I want to know why you're cutting them off. Mm-hmm. Now I see this comment, your friends, your family, but mainly you, right? So let's be clear. You are always at the head of the table. Even if you're listening to somebody else, ultimately, because you're the one making the decision, you are always at the head of the table. But even the person at the head of the table still, listens to other people at the table. So who are we cutting off this week? Who are we cutting off? You cutting off your past self and your aunt. Hey,
Mm.
hey, hey, listen,
We
listen. And guess what? I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you because in that decision, you've realized that even you are getting in your own way. And then with your aunt, guess what? Tell her get up. She got to go. She got to go. She's not serving her purpose. Sometimes we have a very hard time letting go of family ties because they're family, right? I can't let this person go. They're my blank. But that position that they had did not keep them from disrespecting you. It didn't keep them from putting you down. It didn't keep them from not believing in you because they were your blank. So for that reason, they can get these walking papers too. They gotta get up. They gotta get up. All right, your situation is complicated. I can't cut these people off because I feel like I'm wrong. Okay, so I want to address that too. There's a decision that needs to be made, right? And eventually, what I hope for you is that you will pick yourself.
Mm.
You can support people from a distance. You really can. My father was a very giving man, very supportive. And so he put those things into me. I still give to people. I still, assist them where I can, but I also do so from a distance. They're not welcome at my table, right? You could drop something off at somebody's house and not invite them into your house. So with that being said, you give them support, you give them love. You don't change yourself to stoop to their level, but they don't belong at the table. They don't belong at the table. They gotta get up. Have to get up. Um, yeah, and unfortunately, like Sydney just said, having to learn the hard way is rough. And it's time wasted. We feel that we're a loyal person. Remember, we talked about those values. We talked about those values that were identified. And for some of you, it was loyalty, right? But I need for you to really think about tonight. Am I being loyal to others and being disloyal to myself? I say it one more time. Am I being loyal to others and being disloyal to myself?
Mm.
Because you're not caring about your health. You're not caring about your mental space. You're not caring about if you are kind to yourself. You're not taking care of yourself. So for that reason, you're being disloyal to you. And that's unfortunate because you have so much to offer, so much beauty to give to the world, and yet you wasted it on somebody who's not even recognizing your currency, right? You giving gold to somebody who's essentially looking at it like pennies. eh, it's not a fair trade. It's not a fair trade. Remember, we talked about doing business with people who have the same values that we do, because then it's equal. If you don't, you selling yourself short. That's the long and the short of it. You selling yourself short, because they will never give you your weight in gold. They never will. And really, what I want to touch on for a second, and then I'm going to move on. Um, a truth that I had to learn is that, and somebody commented on how hard that is. People they cannot love you more than they love themselves. Now, I know. Don't light me up in the comments. That's not true. Such and such love me way more than they tell me all the time. See, the capacity for which you are able to love yourself is also the capacity for which you are able to love others. I will give you an example. People who talk badly to themselves have the capacity to talk badly to you. People who have sold themselves short on their own dreams and they didn't allow themselves to have any will over time find it difficult to support yours. The moment you hit a bump in the road and maybe it didn't go as well, they will jump in and be like, I ain't want to be the one to tell you, but I had a feeling that thing wasn't going to work out. And I ain't want to be the one to say it, right? They're not going to give you the level of support that says, listen, you hit that bump in the road, but guess what? Get back up, dust yourself off, and keep it moving. And if you do have that person, it's because they're able to give that to themselves. Okay. I know. I know that's hard. I know that's hard for some people to kind of put together, because they are told that I love you so much. I love you and I'm going to treat you better than I ever treated myself. Yeah. Maybe for a while, but it's not something that they can maintain. See, we're looking for things, relationships, healthy relationships that can be maintained. Not I love you more than I love myself. Do you understand the amount of news that people have where a spouse kills somebody else and they will say to them, I love you so much, I can't stand to see you with anybody else. And yet they kill them and then they kill themselves because the capacity, they were willing to kill themselves and they were willing to kill you too. And love did not matter. So please, please, please be careful with your heart. Be careful with your feelings. Continue to be loyal to yourself and show yourself love, please. Okay? Now, let's get into some of this here goodness, because I want to show you all a video today, and you may have seen it. You may have seen it before, right? I don't know if many of you really know the background story behind Steve Jobs. We are familiar with his products and we're familiar with what he did, but do we really know his life story? Maybe not. So I just want to share with you all a video today about Steve Jobs, and then I want to have a discussion afterward. Okay.
Nice. You know, that's one of my faves.
Steve, man,
I
Steve,
love his book. I
he don't
love
know
it.
me yet, but we know each other.
You know, now we know each other.
All right, so this is my first time using this one. I'm gonna share my window. Nope. I'm gonna share my entire screen. Let's do that. Joni, why can't I share?
Oh, did you click on share?
I did.
You click on share my screen and then clicked on what you want to share?
hmm I want to know, is it because it's in the same
That shouldn't matter. That should be fine. You should just be able to click on share my screen. Then it come up what you want to share. You click on what you want to share. Then you click share.
Listen, I'm telling you, it's grayed out. I see exactly what you talk about, but it's grayed out for some odd and strange reason. So let's see if we can do it this way. Can you see it?
Bam.
Can you see it?
Bam. We see it.
All right, boom.
All right, we can't hear. Is it we supposed to be hearing it right now?
You can't hear it?
Not right now.
All right, let me see. Mm-mm.
This about to be good, y'all.
I have shared. Oh, you know what? It's not gonna let me do it. So I'm gonna tell you what I'm gonna do.
You can
I'm
send
gonna
me the
put.
link.
All right, boom.
Yo, we gonna get this because you hit us over the head real early. Real early, man. And I can't believe you on here with stitches in your mouth, y'all. Meanwhile, it's somebody making an excuse right now.
Nah, we don't do excuses. We not gonna have that because they not worth a daggone thing. All right, here we go. So I'm gonna come back here with you. I'm gonna share. You ain't gonna let me. Let's see.
Visit us at
There we go.
stanford.edu.
We good to go?
Yeah.
Now the video is blurry. It's old. Just stay with me.
Thank you.
Can you do the full screen?
I'm honored to be with you today for your commencement from one of the finest universities in the world. Truth be told, I never graduated from college, and this is the closest I've ever gotten to a college graduation. Today, I want to tell you 3 stories from my life. That's it. No big deal. Just 3 stories. The first story is about connecting the dots. I dropped out of Reed College after the first 6 months, but then stayed around as a drop-in for another 18 months or so before I really quit. So why'd I drop out? It started before I was born. My biological mother was a young, unwed graduate student, and she decided to put me up for adoption. She felt very strongly that I should be adopted by college graduates, so everything was all set for me to be adopted at birth by a lawyer and his wife. Except that when I popped out, they decided at the last minute that they really wanted a girl. So my parents, who were on a waiting list, got a call in the middle of the night asking, "We've got an unexpected baby boy. Do you want him?" They said, "Of course." My biological mother found out later that my mother had never graduated from college and that my father had never graduated from high school. She refused to sign the final adoption papers. She only relented a few months later when my parents promised that I would go to college. This was the start in my life. And 17 years later, I did go to college. But I naively chose a college that was almost as expensive as Stanford. And all of my working class parents' savings were being spent on my college tuition. After 6 months, I couldn't see the value in it. I had no idea what I wanted to do with my life, and no idea how college was going to help me figure it out. And here I was, spending all of the money my parents had saved their entire life. So I decided to drop out and trust that it would all work out okay. It was pretty scary at the time, but looking back, it was one of the best decisions I ever made. The minute I dropped out, I could stop taking the required classes that didn't interest me and begin dropping in on the ones that looked far more interesting. It wasn't all romantic. I didn't have a dorm room, so I slept on the floor in friends' rooms. I returned Coke bottles for the 5-cent deposits to buy food with. And I would walk the 7 miles across town every Sunday night to get one good meal a week at the Hare Krishna temple. I loved it. And much of what I stumbled into by following my curiosity and intuition turned out to be priceless later on. Let me give you one example. Reed College at that time offered perhaps the best calligraphy instruction in the country. Throughout the campus, every poster, every label on every drawer was beautifully hand calligraphed. Because I had dropped out and didn't have to take the normal classes, I decided to take a calligraphy class to learn how to do this. I learned about serif and sans serif typefaces, about varying the amount of space between different letter combinations, about what makes great typography great. It was beautiful, historical, artistically subtle in a way that science can't capture, and I found it fascinating. None of this had even a hope of any practical application in my life. But 10 years later, when we were designing the first Macintosh computer, it all came back to me. And we designed it all into the Mac. It was the first computer with beautiful typography. If I had never dropped in on that single course in college, the Mac would have never had multiple typefaces or proportionally spaced fonts. And since Windows just copied the Mac, it's likely that no personal computer would have them. If I had never dropped out, I would have never dropped in on that calligraphy class, and personal computers might not have the wonderful typography that they do. Of course, it was impossible to connect the dots looking forward when I was in college, but it was very, very clear looking backwards 10 years later. Again, you can't connect the dots looking forward. You can only connect them looking backwards. So you have to trust that the dots will somehow connect in your future. You have to trust in something, your gut, destiny, life, karma, whatever. Because believing that the dots will connect down the road will give you the confidence to follow your heart even when it leads you off the well-worn path, and that will make all the difference. My second story is about love and loss. I was lucky. I found what I loved to do early in life. Woz and I started Apple in my parents' garage when I was 20. We worked hard, and in 10 years, Apple had grown from just the two of us in a garage into a $2 billion company with over 4,000 employees. We just released our finest creation, the Macintosh, a year earlier, and I just turned 30. And then I got fired. How can you get fired from a company you started? Well, as Apple grew, we hired someone who I thought was very talented to run the company with me. And for the first year or so, things went well. But then our visions of the future began to diverge, and eventually we had a falling out. When we did, our board of directors sided with him. And so at 30, I was out, and very publicly out. What had been the focus of my entire adult life was gone, and it was devastating. I really didn't know what to do for a few months. I felt that I had let the previous generation of entrepreneurs down, that I had dropped the baton as it was being passed to me. I met with David Packard and Bob Noyce and tried to apologize for screwing up so badly. I was a very public failure, and I even thought about running away from the valley. But something slowly began to dawn on me. I still loved what I did. The turn of events at Apple had not changed that one bit. I'd been rejected, but I was still in love. And so I decided to start over. I didn't see it then, but it turned out that getting fired from Apple was the best thing that could have ever happened to me. The heaviness of being successful was replaced by the lightness of being a beginner again, less sure about everything. It freed me to enter one of the most creative periods of my life. During the next 5 years, I started a company named Next, another company named Pixar, and fell in love with an amazing woman who would become my wife. Pixar went on to create the world's first computer animated feature film, Toy Story, and is now the most successful animation studio in the world. In a remarkable turn of events, Apple bought Next, and I returned to Apple, and the technology we developed at Next is at the heart of Apple's current renaissance. And Lorene and I have a wonderful family together. I'm pretty sure none of this would have happened if I hadn't been fired from Apple. It was awful tasting medicine, but I guess the patient needed it. Sometimes life's going to hit you in the head with a brick. Don't lose faith. I'm convinced that the only thing that kept me going was that I loved what I did. You've got to find what you love. And that is as true for work as it is for your lovers. Your work is going to fill a large part of your life, and the only way to be truly satisfied is to do what you believe is great work. And the only way to do great work is to love what you do. If you haven't found it yet, keep looking and don't settle. As with all matters of the heart, you'll know when you find it. And like any great relationship, it just gets better and better as the years roll on. So keep looking. Don't settle. My third story is about death. When I was 17, I read a quote that went something like, "If you live each day as if it was your last, someday you'll most certainly be right." It made an impression on me, and since then, for the past 33 years, I have looked in the mirror every morning and asked myself, if today were the last day of my life, would I want to do what I am about to do today? And whenever the answer has been no for too many days in a row, I know I need to change something. Remembering that I'll be dead soon is the most important tool I've ever encountered to help me make the big choices in life. Because almost everything, all external expectations, all pride, all fear of embarrassment or failure, these things just fall away in the face of death, leaving only what is truly important. Remembering that you are going to die is the best way I know to avoid the trap of thinking you have something to lose. You are already naked. There is no reason not to follow your heart. About a year ago, I was diagnosed with cancer. I had a scan at 7:30 in the morning, and it clearly showed a tumor on my pancreas. I didn't even know what a pancreas was. The doctors told me this was almost certainly a type of cancer that is incurable, and that I should expect to live no longer than 3 to 6 months. My doctor advised me to go home and get my affairs in order, which is doctor's code for prepare to die. It means to try and tell your kids everything you thought you'd have the next 10 years to tell them in just a few months. It means to make sure everything is buttoned up so that it will be as easy as possible for your family. It means to say your goodbyes. I lived with that diagnosis all day. Later that evening, I had a biopsy where they stuck an endoscope down my throat, through my stomach and into my intestines, put a needle into my pancreas and got a few cells from the tumor. I was sedated, but my wife, who was there, told me that when they viewed the cells under a microscope, the doctor started crying because it turned out to be a very rare form of pancreatic cancer that is curable with surgery. I had the surgery, and thankfully, I'm fine now. This was the closest I've been to facing death, and I hope it's the closest I get for a few more decades. Having lived through it, I can now say this to you with a bit more certainty than when death was a useful but purely intellectual concept. No one wants to die. Even people who want to go to heaven don't want to die to get there. And yet, death is the destination we all share. No one has ever escaped it. And that is as it should be, because death is very likely the single best invention of life. It's life's change agent. It clears out the old to make way for the new. Right now, the new is you. But someday, not too long from now, you will gradually become the old and be cleared away. Sorry to be so dramatic, but it's quite true. Your time is limited, so don't waste it living someone else's life. Don't be trapped by dogma, which is living with the results of other people's thinking. Don't let the noise of others' opinions drown out your own inner voice. And most important, have the courage to follow your heart and intuition. They somehow already know what you truly want to become. Everything else is secondary. When I was young, there was an amazing publication called the Whole Earth Catalog, which was one of the Bibles of my generation. It was created by a fellow named Stuart Brand, not far from here in Menlo Park, and he brought it to life with his poetic touch. This was in the late 60s, before personal computers and desktop publishing, so it was all made with typewriters, scissors, and Polaroid cameras. It was sort of like Google in paperback form 35 years before Google came along. It was idealistic, overflowing with neat tools and great notions. Stuart and his team put out several issues of the Whole Earth Catalog, and then, when it had run its course, they put out a final issue. It was the mid-1970s, and I was your age. On the back cover of their final issue was a photograph of an early morning country road. the kind you might find yourself hitchhiking on if you were so adventurous. Beneath it were the words, "Stay hungry, stay foolish." It was their farewell message as they signed off. Stay hungry, stay foolish. And I have always wished that for myself. And now, as you graduate to begin anew, I wish that for you. Stay hungry, stay foolish. Thank you all very much.
Yo, that's my guy, yo. If you haven't read his book, y'all gotta read his book.
All right. So there was so much in that. It was so much in that, right? Um, to start a company that was full of love and ambition and his own ideas, and then to be dismissed from that company is heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking. But what I loved about him is that he started off doing what he loved. And so, because he started off doing what he loved, nobody could take it from him. They took his company, at a certain point, his pride, but they couldn't take what he loved. And so, he went right back to the thing that he loved. And he was able to do something new with it, something fresh, right? He came out with two new companies. He said that losing that job was an awful tasting medicine that he needed, right? So let's talk about mental mapping, brain mapping. Telling those people to get up from your table is an awful medicine that you need. You need to tell them to get up from your table so that you can push forward with what you love without the hindrance of hearing their voice tell you that you can't. You need to align what you love with the values that you have, and that you go out there and you make something great. You become something great. You go after something great because you're going to stay hungry and stay foolish. Now, what did he mean by staying foolish? No, we do not mean, go out there and just throw everything to the wind. But he did something that nobody else at the time was doing. He did something that nobody could see with him until it was done, right? It's always impossible until it's completed, right? And so there are groups of people. Simon Sinek, I believe I'll maybe show a video of his because I love Simon Sinek too.
My God, you hitting it all the ones today.
Simon, I love Simon. So Simon talks about the wave of people, right? So when you first have an idea, there's a very low percentage of people who are going to be on board with your idea. It's just not going to happen. You have the people, you have the naysayers, we've never had it done before, we've never seen it before, I'm sorry, but that just doesn't make sense to us. You have those people all the time. They're always going to be there. But then you have the amount of people that after it's done, they're on board with buying your product. They want to be the first in line. They want to be, the first one to have it, the first one to brag about it, the first one to put it on the gram. It's those people, right? Don't expect to be in the same category with those people. You have an idea. You have something that you love, and you're putting your values to what you love, and you're moving forward with that. That's not for anybody else to have but you. It's not. So all of these things are connecting, right? They're connecting. Last week we talked about values. We're connecting the values with who's at our table, who's telling us that we can, who are we moving forward with it. Because all of this is a plan. It's preparing yourself for the war ahead, the travel that you have to do by yourself. It's not going to be with your mom. It's not going to be with the aunt. It's not going to be with the boyfriend. It's going to be with you, because you have the ability to make the decision one way or the other. Nobody can make it for you. In the same way, nobody's going to make it for you. Okay? Now, hold on. I'm going to need y'all to write this one down. All right? Nobody's coming to save you. No matter how much they love you, they can't save you. You have to walk this next journey by yourself. And while being by yourself is scary, I want you to know that you've been saving yourself by yourself the whole time. The whole time. Because people can hold your hand, they can rub your arm, tell you it's going to be okay. But you have to dig yourself out of the ditch. You have to be the one to make the decisions. You have to be the person to invest your money into something that's, your vision. You have to be the person that says, actually, I'm going to market this thing. Actually, I'm going to get investors. Actually, that's you. That's all you. And people have surrounded themselves around you so much that you think that it's their support that has caused you to feel like you can move forward, but it's not. It's not. You saved yourself. You can walk this next road by yourself and it's going to be okay. It's going to be just fine because the road ahead is only for your feet to walk in. That's it. That's it. And that's all. Now, other people can come after you. They can say, I'm so glad that you paved the way for me. I would have never had this opportunity without you. Right. And that's fine for them to do that. But for right now, if you want to go down a path that's never been touched, you're going to have to do that thing by yourself. So let's not be afraid. We're going to stay hungry. We're going to stay foolish because that's where greatness is. That's where greatness is, right in that sweet spot. So let's talk about values. Let's go back to values. Because a lot of us believe that we have values, but then when they're tested, we let them go. So here Steve was losing the love of his life, and he decided to pursue it anyway in a different way because he loved it. So when we talk about our values, right, let's talk about what you love. What do you love? I want to hear in the chat, what do you love? Don't hit the chat with something that you think makes sense just for the sake of making sense, right? Maybe you love something that and people are like, oh, that's weird. No, you're never going to make a living from that. Maybe you will, maybe you won't. Do you love it?
Artists, yeah.
What do you love? Tell me what you love. I want to hear what you love. Don't worry about if it's already a job. Don't worry about. I want to hear what you love as far as your skills, your skill set. Now you could love your confidence because confidence can get you places too. Confidence is actually a skill. It's not something that you're born with. It's a skill, and it can be developed. Helping people, I love it. I love connection. Yes, interior design, fantastic. Community, yeah. Artwork, wonderful. Positive energy. Yes, yes, I love it. You love history and making money. You want to be a caregiver. Ooh, guess what? It's a way to combine all three of those if you really wanted to. Not that it's been done before, but it can be combined. You love music and helping people grow. You love making people feel better. Yes, I love to help. So, caregiver, arts, you love making people smile. That's fantastic. Those are all beautiful things. And you love them, right? You love them. Tell me how now at this point, because Steve, the first of the three story was connecting the dots. I want you to tell me how the thing that you just said that you loved, how you're going to make that into a job. Don't tell me about the credentialing right now. The credentials can come. You have time. You have time for the credentialing. But here's where the mapping comes in. Mapping the future. Tell me how you're going to use the things that you love for the future version of yourself. And don't let money be a factor either. Because when we look at Steve and him taking that calligraphy class, there's no way in the world that man thought that he was going to become a millionaire, a billionaire off a calligraphy class. And not so much. But he was able to connect those dots. So how are you going to connect the dots between the things that you have an interest in and what you want to do for the future? Oh, yes. You're transforming KR Smoothies into a nonprofit. I love that. I think at one point I heard that you were giving out smoothies to the homeless at one time.
Yep, we will do this.
I absolutely love that. I want to connect with you on that. The homeless are a love of mine, and I actually love to do coaching sessions just on the fly. What's your name? What's
Mm.
your goal for the future? You want to get off of the streets? Let's set some goals together. Next time I come back here, what do you plan on doing? Okay, I could connect you here and I could connect you there. So I bring what I do to those people too. Okay, planning on which schools you need to go to study and what you want to do, making a nonprofit that helps the community, hmm traveling and pursuing real estate. Yes. So
Yo,
we
today I just met the dude that runs all of the real estate in Baltimore City, yo. It's crazy she just said that.
see what I'm saying. You see, you never know.
He,
You never
he
know.
coming he coming to a mission Monday. He done already told me. We just got set
Yeah,
the date.
man.
But he
The
run all the real
connections.
estate. Yo, big, yo. I mean, I knew he was something, but
Mm-hmm.
having to sit down for that
Mm-hmm.
hour having lunch with him, I'm like, wow. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, this man is responsible for building the harbor. Like what we see now, him and the
Wow.
team is responsible for that.
Wow. That's fantastic. But see, what if that same man allowed for somebody negative to sit at his table? You know, he wouldn't have been able to. Because, I mean, here's the thing, who would have thought that building a city really by the water was a good idea? Really, not anybody, because a lot of people are afraid of flooding. They'll tell you immediately that that's not a good idea. However, for import and export, it's fantastic. It's fantastic. Okay. So that's my thing. I want you all to work on this week connecting those dots, not worrying about whether it makes sense, not worrying about whether somebody did it before, whether if you tell somebody they're going to be like, oh, that don't make sense. You want to own a ice cream cart that also, services the homeless. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. There are ways to connect it. Maybe it's not something that has been done before, but you can be the first. It exists in your mind, and therefore it is. You can make those things work, but you have to put in the work to make it work. Right? Okay, so the first thing he did was connecting dots. Love and loss. Love and loss is hard because he had to start over. But because he was able to start over, we talked about the medicine that he didn't want to take, but he had to take it. He was able to look at, this new company with fresh eyes, and he was able to move forward. When you start off doing with what you love, it really is the foundation moving forward. The highs and the lows will all be a product of love. And so you accept everything that comes with it. You really do. Um, you want to be the possible to the impossible. That's right. That's right. Yes, you can be the first. You can be the first. Just because nobody has done it before does not mean that it never will be done. That's not true. That is absolutely not true. Okay. Last one he talked about was death. Death is very hard for people to discuss. Even though we view it to be the inevitable, people will start a conversation and say, I don't really want to talk about that. But we should. But we should. Um, I tell people all the time that if I die today or tomorrow, I don't want an obituary. I don't want this small piece of paper to tell people what I was. I want people to show up to my funeral telling each other what I was. Right? I want them to tell the stories. I want somebody to say, you know what, Tay helped me out here. What did she? Because she helped me out this way. I can't believe that. That's what I want. I want, if I'm gonna die, I want it to be a conversation. I want it to be that the room is filled with so many people that says, I was there with her. I experienced her. I knew what it was like to be in her presence. I know what it was like to feel her energy. I know what it was like to be her friend. I don't need a piece of paper to tell random people what I was. I want them to tell each other.
Mm.
So when we talk about death, yeah, it's a hard topic, but you can easily be everything you want people to remember about you today. You want them to say that you were a caring person. You can start now. You want them to say that you were innovative. You could start that now. You want people to say, you know what, she did everything absolutely possible to help her community, to help the people around her. You can start that now. And it doesn't have to be a sad thing. It doesn't have to be I don't want to talk about death for fear that it's going to come around the corner, because the reality of it is it could be around the corner, right? What did he say? If you live each day, if it were your last, one day it will be. And you want to, at the end of days, be poured completely out, leaving nothing inside. Not a I shoulda, I could have, I wish I did. I should have made peace with that friend back in the day. I wish I wasn't so prideful. I should have had that conversation. I should have went after that job. I should have had my family. I should have had children. Why did I do this? Now, don't let that time be full of regret, because we are in the best possible space right now. You are fresh, and being fresh is beautiful, because that means that you get to create, freely create. It's a beautiful space when you can freely create, because then you get to push forward being absolutely anything. And that's more than just being in elementary school and they pass out clip art of somebody being an astronaut and put, somebody who's a geologist. No, this is real.
Mhm.
It's real. It can be your reality if you make it. Not the nobody around me became a blank. Nobody in my family did blank. Because what is it? Because you're the first. Because you're the first. And so everybody after you, right? Your family, your lineage has been waiting for you to arrive. They've been waiting for you to take that step. They've been waiting for you to take a leap of faith on yourself. They've been waiting for you to trust in yourself. They've been waiting for you to have the confidence. They've been waiting for you to have that innovation, to invent, to touch your community. They've been waiting, because everybody here on out is going to know your name. And not because you're famous and you're Instagram famous and you're Facebook famous, but because you get to be the change for somebody else. So when they show up to your funeral, they get to say, I know what it was like to know him. I know what it was like to be in her presence. I know what it was like to feel him, because he or she changed my life. Be that person. You may not be the richest or the most famous, but the richest currency you ever can have is to have people stand up and say that you changed their life. There is no greater currency in the world than that. There's not a mansion, there's not a yacht, there's not an island that is richer than you saying and someone saying about you that you changed their life, because now you are a part of their trajectory. You are the reason why they came off of drugs. You are the reason why they decided to apply for that business loan. You are the reason why they decided to travel the world. You have changed their life. And from that, you have changed everybody that they've touched. All because you decided to be the person that you want to be in the future today. All right. Y'all getting silent on me on this text, on this chat. I don't know if y'all taking it all in.
We taking it in. Trust.
Taking
Trust.
it in. Yes, that's the reason that they decided to keep. Yes. And while somebody is gonna come along and be negative and say, you really not that great. You think you're gonna be different? You think you better than this? Than what I've provided for you?
Mm.
No,
Not that what I provided for you.
that's what people
Hey,
do.
yo.
That's what they do.
You hit it right on the head, though, yo.
That's
Like,
what they do. That's what they do. And it's not that you think you're better. You're not better. You just decided to make different decisions. They could have made those decisions too. And I think we said last time, forgive them because they gave you the best that they had, but it still wasn't enough. And that's okay. And that's okay. They gave you everything that they had, and it wasn't enough. And you needed to make that for yourself. You needed to become what you needed for yourself. You needed to be that person. And that's okay. You don't think you better. You just decided to become. And that can't be a bad thing. Deciding to blossom and become is not the death of your previous life, it's the enhancement of it. I am everything that I am today because of everything that I have been in the past. Did I have everything? No. But I'm able to connect today because of it. I came from West Baltimore. I grew up on Monroe and Baker. And when we moved from Monroe and Baker, we moved to Fremont, right where the Murphy homes were. I know exactly what it's like. Because of those experiences, I'm able to connect today. I'm able to say, I understand. And people will say, no, you don't. You don't understand. You don't know what it's like. You don't know. But let me sit down and let me tell you a story, because I promise you I do. The fact that you see who I am today has no indication of who I used to be. It's no indication of who I became because I was in pain. You would never know, because I've decided to get rid of that person. Hurt people hurt people. That's the reality of it. And because I was hurt at one point, I sought out to hurt people. Right? It's what I knew. And then I decided to myself that I didn't want people to know me that way. But I couldn't be kind and I can't be nice, because then people won't think I'm a punk. And they won't think that they could take advantage of me. And I don't want people to take advantage of me again. Not again. I can't have this again, right? Because that would make me foolish. So I decided then that, who do I want to be? Do I want to be tough? Do I want people to fear me? Do I want them to, think twice about saying something to me because, maybe I could throw these hands? Or, or do I want them to say, wow, she didn't even say anything back to me. What does that say about me? I said something terrible to her and she didn't even respond. Like I was nothing to her. Like, how dare she? I'm over here trying to, ruffle her up and she not even going to respond to me. You know what? I'm going to try again tomorrow because she thinks it's a game. I'm going to come with something hard hitting tomorrow. I'm going to talk about her hair. I'm going to talk about her dark skin. I'm going to talk about something. I'm going to talk about her weight. I'm going to talk about something. And then they come with that too. And to them, you say nothing because they don't deserve my energy. They don't deserve my energy at all. And if you don't deserve my energy at all, I'm just going to keep it pushing. And I'm going to allow for you to continue to see my success. And that in itself is a slap in the face. The fact that I continue to be without your permission, because I don't need it. That I continue to thrive and I continue to grow without needing your approval is a slap in the face by itself. I don't need to punch you in the face. You seeing me smiling anyway is a punch in the face. The fact that you out here trying to be me secretly is a punch in the face. The fact that you home when you couldn't be spending time with your kids, but you think about me is a slap in the face.
Yo.
It's a slap in the face. I don't have to be that to them. They don't get to get that from me. And so I'm just completely, like right now, I'm completely poured out and happy with where I am in my life, with being here with you all. I can't wait for the next session, the session after that. But I like something that Joni did, so I'm gonna steal that for a second. Yeah, I stole it, Joni.
What are you talking about?
Joni?
What are you talking about? I'm waiting for the Simon Sinek, because that's my guy.
Oh yeah, I gotta talk about Simon. I have to talk about Simon because Joni told me it was some leaders in here. She told me that there was some leaders. So
I got a few.
I need to put them on to Simon, because Simon's that guy. He really, really is.
Yeah.
Yep. The fact that you were looking for me and someone else.
That right, that hit me. Saying that hit me, yo. Sheesh.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it's like that. So I want to hear from you all, because I'm gonna switch it up. I have a plan on what we are going to discuss, but I always want the time that we spend together to be relevant. If it's not relevant, then there's no point. So I want to hear from you all what our topic should be about the next 2 weeks. And then we're going to hit that. All right. So what do you want us to discuss?
And I love like how we start, because like a lot of people, like when they think about building themselves into a professional, they automatically think about a lot of the technical skills, but not understanding that it starts with this type of stuff right here.
It does. It does. I can teach you the technical. I can't teach you how to be a good person. I'm not going to start you off there. I'm not going to start you off, trying to show you how to be kind, trying to show you how to care about others. I need you to show up with that. That's the foundation, right? All right. So we're talking about self-improvement, not taking things personally. Okay. Making changes in your life and others. Can't say we only got 5 minutes left.
Shit, yeah, we down to 3 for real.
All right. So I have self-improvement, not taking things personally, and making changes in your life. Did I miss anything? Is that what we discussing the next time we come together? Everybody feeling that? Hold up. Who cut you short? I hope y'all blaming Joni.
Hey, ain't no blaming me.
I hope y'all blaming Joni.
Hey, yo. You see, y'all can't get nobody nothing.
All right, setting structure in your life. I see that. Using relationships in your favor. Okay. Oh, preparation. Ooh. Yes.
Fake friends. Fake friends, Lord.
Miss Joni be trying to get us going. And I agree with you. I'm on y'all side. They said, but who is Simon? Oh man, not who is Simon.
We don't even have enough time, yo.
Yo, I got Simon books up here on my wall. Like, I may have to gift that to somebody. I might have to gift Simon Sinek's Leaders Eat Last. I might have to gift that to somebody.
My favorite book is Start With Why.
Start With Why is a good one.
That's my favorite one. That's my favorite one. Like, nothing tops that. Like that, yeah. I can read that over and over again.
All right, so that's what we're gonna do. Yeah, I'm still waiting for my list, shorty. Where my list?
I got your list. Yo. I got how many you said I got?
I'm gonna need to know how many. How many you? I mean, give me 5. Give me a good 5.
Give you 5. All right.
I need 5.
Cam Gotti.
Mm-hmm.
Sid. Gemma the Dilemma. Track Star. Reality.
All right, y'all. Hit me up on Instagram, Leaders Unleashed, and I will find a way to get you your books. The planner is out. I'm going to have it with me the next time, hopefully, and I'll show you all what it looks like. But that's what Joni just picked her 5 people. So those 5 people are going to be getting that personalized planner from yours truly.
Can I make 2 more in that I pay for?
Ain't this? It always gotta come on, Joni.
No, I'm just saying.
What now? All right, come on.
I got these two. Send me my bill. Donovan, same.
All right. Okay.
Yes.
All
Yeah.
right. Next time around, I'm gonna have those other books to start with why, and I'm gonna give those out the next time. So that everybody talk about who is Simon, you
That's
gonna know
right.
who Simon is.
Yes, yo.
All
That's
right.
yo, you getting them that book?
Come on
What?
now. Come through with it. Yes. I will get that for them. So I'll have maybe let's say I'm gonna give 2 away next time. Guess what? My 2 probably gonna grow, but I'm gonna get 2. I'm gonna get 2 and I'm gonna send them out.
Yo, we gotta make sure people that's really gonna read it, yo, just get that joint, yo.
They gotta be serious though. They gotta be serious. These are definitely gems that you need to set your foundation for moving forward. Take them seriously. All right. Okay.
Yo.
All right. So it's 7 o'clock on the dot. I'm in my drop top.
Ursha.
I'm sorry. Felt every
Ursha
piece.
Unleashed.
Felt every piece of that 7 o'clock.
Ursha Unleashed. Can we get a quick jewel real quick though? A 10-second jewel? I mean, you've been dropping them on our
All
head.
right. Let's see. It's all these jewels. It's all these jewels. The last thing I want to share with you this week. I'm gonna go with dang. This week I'm gonna go with Don't Settle. I'm definitely gonna go with Don't Settle. Because I think that sometimes we have the habit of becoming what others need, with the promise that we've only promised ourselves that eventually they will become what we need from them. That is a lie. So with that being said, don't settle. Don't settle for the job. Don't settle for the fake relationship. Don't settle for a currency that you don't accept. We're not settling. We're not going to do that. All right.
The fake relationship?
Yep. Oh, look. Did I write that down? Because I think somebody said fake friends. We may have to address fake relationships. Okay, we're gonna have to address those. The people that be like, "Oh, your
I'm
shirt
gonna
looks
put myself on mute for that one.
okay. Your
I'm
shirt
gonna
looks
be
so
on-
nice. It probably would look better if you lost about 5 pounds, but I think it would look better on me. But you cute though." What? You know, but you and I both know that that's how it go. My daughter calls it the insult sandwich, right? Where you say something mean, you say something nice, and then you say something mean again. No. You say something nice, you say something mean, and then you say something nice again, right? Which is the I like your shirt, but you kind of look fat in it, but you cute though. That's the insult sandwich, right? Where you get to put what you really wanted to say in the middle, but you say something nice on the ends to make it seem like you're not that nasty person, but you really are. Yeah, we gonna have to address that. We gonna have to address that.
Okay, bye, yo. Bye.
we gonna have to address them friends moving forward because they out there, and I know everybody has somebody in mind who does that all the time. And truth be told, nobody asked you. Like nobody asked you. Not that person. Not one person. Nobody asked you. we gonna talk about how to comfortably pack them up too.
Hey, yo. I'm dead. Thank you so much, yo. This was amazing as always, yo. Like,
I enjoy it. I do.
These 2-week breaks be too long, yo. They be too long.
I know they do feel like forever. They really do. And then I get back with y'all and it's like 1 hour. And then Johnny be like, all right, we got 30 more seconds. So I mean, if you wrap it up.
Nah, yo. We already passed our time.
Bye, everybody. Thank you for having me this week. I definitely do appreciate it. I appreciate the responses. And as always, stay hungry, stay foolish. I'm out.
Yeah, see you. Mic drop on that, yo. Y'all heard the mic drop. Man, Did I tell y'all we packing the heat, yo, on the Power Professional Sessions? Did I not tell y'all? We way past our time though, yo. So we gotta get ready to go. Like, yo, yes, yo, this session was absolutely amazing. And I was for real when I told her, like, a lot of times when people think about building themselves up, like as a professional, they skip this foundational part. And this foundational part is so important because it won't matter the skills that you have or the connections that you had, the network, the relationships. Like, yo, none of that stuff. Hey, Tay Bass, don't do that. I got you, yo. I got you, Tay Bass. Like, yo, none of that stuff matters if you don't have like this foundational stuff. And like, I'm just so glad that we are starting here. And I can't wait for y'all, for people that's going to read the Steve Jobs book. Yo, if you aren't familiar, if you haven't read his book, yo, I highly recommend Steve Jobs' book. It's his autobiography. It's called Steve Jobs. And two things, you know what? I'm not even going to spoil it for y'all. I'm not even going to spoil it for y'all. But it's two things about Steve Jobs that I just did not like. I mean, I love the man all the way around, and especially his contributions like to the world. But it's two things that's gonna make you sick. It made me sick. It's two things though. But all right, y'all. If we hold on, if you say me lead the premises, bless you crazy. But all right, y'all. That's it for today, man. Y'all already know, yo. Go be productive, yo. Please, yo. Go be productive. If you rocking with us on this, then that's probably not your struggle. But just in case, I gotta tell you anyway, go be productive, yo. You still got about like what, 2 more working hours left in the day. Go be productive. Go work on your goals, yo. It's too many people that's trying to get somewhere, that's trying to connect themselves to their version of success. It's always something to do. And what do we talk about every single week, yo? Your attention. You can have good intentions on being productive, but if you don't manage your attention, then you won't be productive. So make sure that you are figuring out ways and tactics that you can manage your attention. So when you are trying to be intentional about being productive, you can actually be productive and not let all those crazy distractions and stuff come in your space. So if y'all rocking with us, tomorrow, then I'll see y'all tomorrow on Winning Wednesday and then Thriving Thursday. And y'all already know what the rest is from there. But all right, y'all, I'll holler at y'all later, y'all. I'm out of here.